Ooh, sounds pretty bad, doesn't it? Today, we're going to be fixing a rattling window on the C5. You might need to do the same if your window does this. This will be done, of course, on a C5, but the process is the same for basically every car. So if you have a rattly window, pay attention. First thing we're going to do is mark the position of the window with a piece of masking tape on the front and the back. Then we need to work on getting the door panel off. Every door panel is a little different, but you're looking for areas like that, where you see it might be covering up a screw of some sort. This particular car also has one under the handle. Now those little recesses are going to try to trick you and make you think you have to take this panel off, but you actually want to take the surrounding panel off. And hopefully it'll come out without breaking. Now you're going to take a T27 and start removing the two screws. There's one, and there's two. At this point, the whole door is going to be pretty wiggly. Start on the back end with a plastic trim tool, and you're just going to fish it up underneath. If you slide the tool around until you hit another clip, you're just trying to get the door panel loose. Once that's done, you should be able to lift the panel up. If you have electrical connection, go ahead and unplug that. So we now need to access the inside of the panel. A lot of times you will have these little covers. This one is just held on with really weak sticky tape, kind of like tar paper. Ugh. And we can now access the window regulator. I popped the window switches out of the door so we can see what we're dealing with in here. Next, I'm going to remove this speaker assembly. Make sure you unplug the connector and go ahead and set that off to the side. Now you can see what we were looking for. I need access to that bolt and that bolt. This one was pretty easy to get to, but that guy involves removing the speaker. Next, we're going to take a 13 and loosen these window hold down bolts. That will allow us to remove the window glass. This is why we marked it earlier. Taking a look inside the door panel, because that certainly isn't right. So that holds the bottom panel on. I'm gonna have to take that bolt, and that bolt out in order to get the regulator out. Looks like these three will have to go as well. Okay, so we got all the 10 mil nuts off of the window track. We're just gonna reach in, pop it out of its holders, fold it down like so, reach through the front side, pop that one out. Then slowly but surely start prying it out of this access hole. Don't forget that the window regulator is going to have a connector on it that you will need to reach back behind and unplug. This is an actual GM part. I wonder if this is factory. So this is the old window regulator, and let's get the new one. Rock Auto for the win. I was able to pick up both these for I think around $100. Now we do have a 748, 743. The other one is 748, 742. So we're going to take all the parts and just kind of shove them through this opening first. I'm going to go ahead and get the rear track held with a nut first so it doesn't go anywhere. And you just kind of work the other part of the track in the door. We can secure the motor on there so it doesn't fall off. Okay, so once you get to this point, you've got the rearward track, got the motor. It's pretty close. I just don't want it to fall down while I'm doing this. The top one goes in, but on the bottom track, that little hole isn't really supposed to just be a little hole. See that guy right there? This is at the very bottom of the door. Gonna need to take that off too. Going back inside, you can see that now that little peg is loose. So if I get that nut off of it, I can take this little guy out. That fit right here in that recess. And on the new one, it has a little rubber bushing on it. And we're just gonna leave that in play. Then you just lift up this side of the track, put it in there, and then line up the top again. Gonna put a nut on this one to keep it from coming off. Now we're just gonna start buttoning everything up. I also noticed this. You see how I've got a little bit of thread, maybe about halfway, I don't know about a little bit, but I got some thread coming out here and I have a whole lot in the back. If I look at the old track, I've got very little thread on the back and a lot on the front. So I'm just gonna try to eyeball that up. I could measure it, of course, but I don't think that's 100% necessary. I think that's pretty good. All right, this side's sticking out just as much as it was before. I took that nut off of there to get it lined up. So I'm gonna go ahead and zip all this down, and I'm gonna zip the motor down as well. Okay, so this nut onto the threaded shaft here, nothing is really keeping it from spinning around if you were tightening it. So you might have to use a wrench and a pair of vice grips. All right, I think that's good enough. Plug the motor in, turn on the key. Let's see if it works. Much tighter than it was. That's nice. All right, these window hold downs are tight. They're also a 12 and not a 13 like they were in the other one. So I've got this dude loose. Now you don't want them to back all the way out. You just want to separate the rear piece from the front. Now we grab the window. And then line it up into the little holders. Now the window did have a little piece of tape on it, and that lined up with that bracket there. So I'm going to start there. And when you tighten these guys, you just want to have them snug. You don't want to go so tight that you break the window. Now let's raise it up and see what happens. The window is much more stable than it was before. This piece of tape lined up okay, but that one did not. So we're going to raise up that backside a little bit. If you want to fine tune the adjustment, it's going to be done with this screw right here. The top of the track has a little flat part, a little stopper. So when you raise it up, this part's going to bump into that. The old one was an E-Torx. This one is a 4mm. And then test it until I get my piece of tape exactly where I want it. You just test fit it over and over till you get it right. And that looks pretty good for the height adjustment. Got my pieces of tape exactly where I want them. When you're happy with it, give everybody a final snug. And start putting it all back together. For that piece of paper that came off, it totally destroyed itself. A lot of people use trash bags for this, and I normally would do the same. I just lost my spray adhesive. So in order to get it done, I'm going to be using everybody's old friend, duct tape. This is definitely going to be overkill, but it will create a nice sound barrier. There we go. You got to do what you got to do. Now everybody's favorite part, these little plastic clips. It's supposed to look like that, but a lot of times they'll break off. If you have a broken one, you can replace them. Just go on Amazon, you can find all this stuff. Check to make sure that all of the receptacles are in. I had one pop all the way out here, so I'm just going to shove that guy in there. And then these little dudes just snap in theoretically. There you go. Had one there. Had one up here that broke. Now this is probably the funnest part of the whole thing. Trying to get the door panel back on without breaking it. We're going to start at the top. Get it set into position. Don't forget to route your window switch up and through this hole. You're going to take this guy, snap it back into position. Take the window switch, snap it into place. And lastly, we take our two 27s. Don't forget your little clip here. Now let's see what happens. Sounds pretty good from out here. Window's definitely tighter. And when you're all done, you can take your tape off.